I see is friends of mine who are dropping out, friends of mine who take every other semester off like Valerie. So I'd urge the trustees to think about what set of data and what set of experiences you're choosing to place this vote based on. And lastly, I agree that the state is in large ways, the de-investment of state funds is principally at stake for the increase in cost. But as a matter of fact, this board has agency. And if this board in fact votes to freeze fees this year, in effect reducing somewhat to a rollback of fees due to the rate of inflation, that would send a huge message to the legislature that in fact we cannot continue to pass on essentially what are capital costs to shoulders, to the backs of students. So again, this would actually help us in our attempt to get more public funding from the state if in fact this board said no. We're not going to continue to pass on costs to students. The state has to come up with this significant funding gap that the university is faced with. So thank you.
If the board were not to approve these fee increases, what's the effect that has on the programs and facilities and campus experience? I mean, I understand and I'm quite sympathetic to the impact that it has on students in the past, but no one's really talked about it, what are the implications in terms of the campus, the facilities, the programs that we've done.
Well, one thing that was implicit in my remarks is that that would mean that there's roughly $4 million in financial aid that would not go out to students. A fee decrease, as I pointed out earlier, statistically, mathematically, that benefit goes primarily to the wealthy students. A fee increase in financial aid goes primarily, almost exclusively, to the poorest 30% of students. So in fact, it would I believe, decrease our affordability if we did that. Secondly, I think that it would in fact mean that we would not be able to do some of the things that we had planned to do. We would be slowed down on the Faculty 250 program, certainly slowed down on the Faculty 250 program at Amherst. We would have to look at some of our capital programs, because although we'd love the state to step forward on the capital, and we've worked very hard to do that, we can look at history and we know that we spent about $1 billion in capital over the last 6 years, and 78% of that came out of our own pocket. We don't like to have to do that, but we have to fix the buildings. We cannot allow the buildings to deteriorate the way that had been done in the past. In order to do that, we in fact have to have the funds to do that. If this fee increase didn't pass, in fact, we would have to slow down our fix-up of the buildings. So those would be the three primary things: faculty growth, buildings, and financial aid.
Just remember to call the question.
There's a question on the table. Has it been seconded? Any further discussion?
I just want to reply to the information that you just gave about what would be hit. In fact, on the Amherst campus, last I heard, approximately 60 from the Director of Financial Aid.
You can't discuss it all.
Sorry.
We're not going to have a debate here. We're making our points. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Can we show a raise of hands just for the full opposition, just so we can get it recorded the right way? Thank you. Motion carries.